jam him with the line of scrimmage. I would not let him run freely off this ball.
Brady under pressure, escapes the sack, launching one for the end zone. It's a jump ball and it's incomplete. And Gronk was there. And time runs out.
This is the end of the game.
And for the Philadelphia Eagles, the long drought is over.
In the 2017-18 NFL season, the Philadelphia Eagles won their first ever Super Bowl victory from an unlikely source. During this season, MVP candidate quarterback Carson Wentz tore his ACL, and many analysts and fans thought that the Philadelphia Eagles season was over. However, in March before the season, the team signed Nick Foles, who was previously a starting quarterback in Philadelphia. Nick Foles led this team of underdogs into the playoffs, beating previous NFC champions Atlanta Falcons and betting favorite Minnesota Vikings. Nick Foles dueled against Tom Brady and came out the victor, along with being the star of one of the most memorable plays in sports history, the Philadelphia Special.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
Philly Special. Ready? Here we go. Tonight! Easy! Kill! Lane! Let's go! Woo! Let's go! You like this? I was feeling it right there. Awesome! Next two.
Although Nick Foles was voted the Super Bowl MVP and instantly became one of the most beloved athletes in Philly history, he returned to the bench in the following season.
More details emerged today around Carson Wentz's back issues. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Carson has a fractured vertebrae in his back, which was revealed through a CT scan. The good news is surgery is not expected. Schefter reports the best treatment option is rest, and that if allowed time to rest, Carson will heal fully without complications. The back issues emerged back to mid-October when Carson was on the Eagles' Week 7 and Week 8 injury report. Schefter also reports that Carson will miss the Eagles game this Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams. However, according to the Eagles website, they are still taking a, quote, wait-and-see approach.
The Philadelphia Eagles were at a rough point in the season, being 6-7, and now their starting quarterback was injured. Again, many people were saying they were done and doubted them. However, Nick Foles came off the bench and then went back to working that St. Nick magic. The Eagles had one of the hardest ending schedules left for the season, and they needed to win all of them in order to make the playoffs as a wild card. First, they had to face off against one of the best teams in the NFL at the time, the Los Angeles Rams.
Rams will send 5 receivers downfield. Goff will throw to the end zone too high.
Then they had to face the Houston Texans, again, one of the best teams in the NFL at the time.
Jake Elliott sweeps the leg. He's got it. That's a winner. The Eagles' playoff hopes still alive.
Then they would catch a break by facing the Washington Redskins at home for the final game. However, it wasn't that easy. Even if they were to beat the Redskins, they needed Minnesota Vikings to lose to the Chicago Bears. The Minnesota Vikings were also looking for a wild card spot, and all they needed was to beat the Bears.
Play in the open field, keeping them in bounds.
Blitz coming. Vikings pick it up. Cousins heaves to the end zone on 4th down. There are no flags as Zylstra comes down empty-handed, and this game is over.
The Eagles have made the playoffs, but just like the year before, people were counting them out.
The Bears let the Eagles in. At a certain point in that game, they're looking at that Rams scoreboard. They can pick and choose, who do I want to face? And Kirk Cousins did not bring it yesterday. Easily you could say, I want the Vikings. Let's pull our starters and make it happen. They want those Eagles. They have the #1 scoring defense. They stole that from the Ravens yesterday. And I think being at home, with the way Trubisky played on the road and the way he plays at home where he's 7-1, I'm pretty confident as a Bears fan.
Renee, what chances do you give Foles to beat that Bears defense?
Slim to none. I think that my number would be, I would say, guys, at about 20%.
I like the Bears. I love their defense.
The Eagles were again underdogs. The whole game against the Bears was back and forth, back and forth. Eagles were winning, then the Bears were winning. It seemed like it would come down to the final seconds, and it did.
43-yard attempt from the right hash mark. And, oh, he hits the upright again. That's impossible. And the Eagles run out into the field, but there's still 5 seconds. So they've got to get back. He does it again.
Brought back to the spot of the kick. It will be
Did this hit the upright and the crossbar?
Bottom line, it doesn't go through. Upright. Yeah, it looks like it bounced off the crossbar as well.
Oh my goodness. The Bears season's going to end on a double doink. One. Unbelievable. How many times can they hit the upright?
5 in the stadium and 1 last week. Crazy.
The Eagles have done it. They beat one of the best defenses in the NFL, and now they head to New Orleans. The Philadelphia Eagles will face the NFC's 2nd seed, the New Orleans Saints. The team they lost to by a whopping 41 points earlier in the season. However, now they had the secret magic of Nick Foles with them. There is nothing that could stop them.
0. And they took the extra point.
To get this off with a 2-minute warning. Little surprise. Foles back throws. Intercepted. Went right through Jeffrey's hands. It's Lattimore. Right through Alshon Jeffery's hands. And Lattimore's 2nd pick of the game. And the Saints looking to move on.
Except their own player costed them the game. A perfectly thrown ball to Alshon Jeffery that went right between his hands and ended up intercepted. And the Eagles lost to the New Orleans Saints.
What just happened?
What if the Eagles' Alshon Jeffery caught that pass? Do the Eagles win that game against the Saints? Do they go to the Super Bowl again? Do they repeat as Super Bowl champions? Well, let's see. In this alternate timeline, Alshon Jeffery caught that pass, and the Philadelphia Eagles continue that drive and ultimately score a touchdown. The Saints get the ball, only needing a field goal. Surely they still win, right? Well, no. You see, Drew Brees was playing worse and worse as the game went on, scoring less and less points each quarter. Combine that with the fact they had perhaps less than a minute left with only 1 timeout. The Eagles in this timeline beat the Saints and advanced to the NFC Championship for a 2nd year in a row. Now in this game, the Eagles are battling the Rams almost identically like they faced off before. Doug Peterson, Nick Foles, and the Eagles beat the Rams just a few weeks back. Who's to say it wouldn't happen again? At this point in time, Doug Peterson is 2-0 against Sean McVay whenever they have faced off. So I think it is safe to say Doug Peterson and the Eagles come out victorious against the Los Angeles Rams. So the Eagles are back in the Super Bowl. Surely they lose to the New England Patriots, right? Alright, let me explain before you grab your pitchforks. The New England Patriots team was not doing as good as they did the previous year. After their Super Bowl loss, Bill Belichick changed the roster up. In 2017, the Patriots went 13-3, but in 2018, they went 11-5. Tom Brady threw more picks and less touchdowns than he did the previous year. Their running back Dion Lewis got replaced by rookie Sony Michel, who scored less touchdowns and had less all-purpose yards than Lewis had. Their number one wide receiver, 24-year-old Brandon Cooks, was replaced by 32-year-old Julian Edelman, who had less yards and less touchdowns. The defensive starters also racked up 6 less sacks than the previous year. Meanwhile, on the Eagles side of the ball, their top 2 wide receivers stayed the same, and they added one of the best tight ends in the game today, Dallas Goedert, to the roster. They also upgraded the defensive side of the ball with Michael Bennett, who had 9 sacks, and the defensive starters had 7 more sacks than they did in their Super Bowl run. Convinced yet? So the real question is, can Doug Peterson create an offensive game plan good enough to defeat the Patriots without the help of Frank Reich? And can Bill Belichick create a defensive game plan well enough to stop the Eagles' offense without the help of Matt Patricia? Both of those coordinators left to go to different teams after the teams faced off in Super Bowl 52. Now, if the Eagles do win the Super Bowl, what would happen to them afterwards? Well, the media would claim the Eagles are a new dynasty in football, but the Eagles team would go through a lot of changes. I believe instead of letting your 2-time Super Bowl champ go and find a new team, the Eagles would trade Carson Wentz. Being 26 years old and having a great resume in this point in time, the Eagles would have a lot of bidders and most likely would be offered first-round picks. I believe some of the players retire like they did, including Chris Long, Corey Graham, even though Corey Graham is a free agent today and still hasn't retired, Darren Sproles, and I believe Jason Peters, because he would be a 2-time Super Bowl champ now. Also, it is not unreasonable to think that the Patriots and Tom Brady have a splendid offseason. The Patriots just went to back-to-back Super Bowls and lost to Nick Foles, and by this point, Belichick doesn't want Brady around anymore. He didn't want Brady around since before this season, and Bill loves to win and prove himself to be right. With 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round, it isn't a stretch to say Bill might be eyeing it up for Brady's replacement. Now, yes, they did take Jarrett Stidham in this draft, but if they were to move off Brady in that offseason, they would want a first-round pick quarterback. They could take a quarterback in the first, like the ones that did go in the first, Kyler Murray, Dwayne Haskins, or Daniel Jones. Maybe Bill surprises people and takes Drew Lock or Gardner Minshew. They could also try to pull a crazy trade in the offseason and try to get a quarterback that no one expects, such as Teddy Bridgewater, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Case Keenum, or an even bigger surprise. Obviously, no one can know for sure what would have happened in that Super Bowl 53 matchup. I believe the Eagles would have won, but I am also a Philadelphia Eagles fan. We will never know, so all we can do is ponder the question, what if Alshon Jeffery caught that pass? Thank you everyone for watching this, and if you have any ideas for future what if videos, please put them in the comments on YouTube or email us at johnOOBP@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you later.